Hello everyone, welcome back to another weather forecast. Today we will be going over the possibility of tropical weather over the next 7 days in the Caribbean Sea and the possibility for severe weather as we go into the mid part of the week. So if we started off here with the tropics, we can see that we have a newly highlighted area of tropical development with a 2-day 0% chance, so this is not an imminent threat, but there is a 7-day 40% chance. So there's a medium chance of development and we are going to watch this area here, and this may not form at all, or if it does form, it could go off to the Gulf, it could swing out to sea, it could do some weird things over here. We don't really know where it may go, we don't know the intensity as there's no defined area formed yet, and we don't even know if it will form. So we're going to have to continue to watch the area of the tropics as we go into the next week or two here, as the Caribbean is a pretty low shear environment with pretty high ocean temps, so it is a very primed environment for tropical development. So we will watch for the possibility of that over the next 7 days. And if we bring it over here to the Storm Prediction Center, we can get an idea of what the outlook will be for the next couple of days of the possibility of severe weather. So this is our day 2 outlook, so this is for Tuesday, tomorrow, October 29th. And areas in this darker green shade here have the possibility for isolated wind gusts and isolated hail. And there's not a 2% area, but you could say an isolated tornado would possibly be possible in these areas, and it all depends on the timing of this trough. But overall, Tuesday looks pretty minimal when it comes to severe weather. But we do have a day 3 slight risk of severe weather for areas shaded in the yellow here, and then areas shaded in the marginal that goes from Wisconsin all the way down to the southern portions of Texas. So areas in this yellow shade will be most likely to see the possibility for severe to significant severe wind gusts, possibility for a large to very large hail, and an isolated tornado or two. Areas in the green shade here have more of an isolated threat, and will likely most of the areas in this green will likely not see severe weather, but there is an isolated possibility for severe weather. And if we bring it over to the jet stream here, we can get an idea of what the jet stream may look like over the next couple days. The jet stream can give us an idea of what our weather patterns may become over the next couple days. So if we drag it out here, we can already see within the first frame here that we have a big ridge building here in the east, which is why we are having warmer than average temperatures and almost near summer-like temperatures happening here in the east as that warm air begins to build over here. And it'll feel not fall-like for sure for areas over there in the east, and it'll be quite the opposite for areas here in the west. You will experience below normal temperatures and it may feel a little chilly for fall. But if we drag this out, we can see our Tuesday threat of severe weather already beginning to show up. Areas along this line here. This is for our marginal risk of severe weather. That trough is a little later time. That's why you guys are not under the gun for as much significant severe weather on Tuesday. But on Wednesday, we could see here that this trough really begins to crank up here as we come into Wednesday. And there have been some model uptrends on what this may look like here, as this trough may actually turn, it's beginning to look like it may turn more negatively tilted, which what that means is it's able to drag more moisture and warm air up from the Gulf, and that allows more moisture and air for storms to work with, and this is a pretty sheared environment. This is our area for the slight risk here. This is our area for the slight risk here. This does look like a pretty sheared environment, which will help developing storms and the possibility for rotation and storms, leading to the possibility for tornadoes. So depending on how this trough, if it sets up a little more negatively tilted, and there have been some uptrends on it, Wednesday may become more of a significant day for severe weather. But Tuesday looks pretty minimal at the moment, and I expect it to likely stay a marginal risk. Don't think I'll be live for tomorrow, but I could possibly be if there are model uptrends, and I'll update you guys on that one. And to give you a better idea of what we're looking at here, I'm going to bring you over to the simulated radar so we can get an idea of what it may look like. We can see our low pressure dipping down here. You can see by the symbol marked here, and the possibility for snow over here in these regions, and there might be a possibility for some very heavy snow in areas over here. And you can see that swing up, and this is our, our Tuesday threat looks pretty minimal. And then on Wednesday, you can see the storms fire off and then turn into more of a linear mode as they move off to the east. So radar does show storms firing as they move off to the east here, and we will have to continue to watch for the possibility for severe weather in areas in the slight risk. Here's another look at it. You can see the storms fire off here later Wednesday evening and then expand out into more of a linear mode as they go into Thursday morning, 1, 2, 3 a.m. time frame, and this is when the line will begin to weaken out and will likely stay sub-severe once you go later into the evening, as Cape will become a struggle for these storms to feed off of to continue on their path. Now, looking at simulated radar, we are talking about the possibility of a lot of rain for certain areas. So, if we bring it over here to the forecasted total inches of rainfall, as we drag this out here, this is with our first swath of storms. You can see that swath of rain from the Texas all the way up to the Wisconsin region. Continue to drag that out. There's another swath, and then possibly a third one by the end of the model run. So now this is 380 hours out, but this kind of gives you the good picture of where areas may see a lot of rain. So areas in this red and yellow region here, we'll be looking at the possibility for multiple inches of rain over the next week or two here. And lucky for us, a lot of this will fall in different times. It won't fall all at once, so we won't necessarily be looking at flooding in a lot of these areas. But this is very good, as a lot of these areas that are now in red are currently in a drought and have high fire risks, and a lot of their plants are dying as there's not enough water to go around, because some of these areas haven't seen rain in weeks. So it'll definitely be a refreshing set of rain, and even though there might be some severe weather to come along with it, if you look at the bright side, at least a lot of these areas will get the rain needed. But this kind of tells you that we're going to stay in that active pattern where troughs sweep down here in the west, ridges build in the east, and then areas where that meets up, aka right here, is going to be that battle zone of severe weather, rain, and as you go into the later months, possibly even snow. So we'll have to watch for the possibility of flooding in some of these areas where we may have some excessive rain, but overall this will fall over a long period of time, so we're not too worried about the possibility of flooding. And because we were just talking about drought, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. You see a lot of these areas over here are a lot of these areas are in at least a moderate drought, and some of them are even in extreme droughts. In areas down here near the southern Texas or the Ohio region are in an exceptional drought where they haven't seen rain in many, many days. So we will likely see some drought relief for a lot of these areas as we go into the next week or two, as this constant training of thunderstorms and rain will relieve a lot of the drought in this area. And if we're bringing it over here, we can see our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. This gives you the idea of that ridge building and that trough dipping down, as we will see above average temperatures for all areas in this dark red and this next shade, and then possibility of above normal temperatures as these shades go down, and then anyone in the light blue going up will likely be below normal in temperature. So you can see that trough and ridge setup pattern, and you can see here for our 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. You can see that areas in the dark green to this separate part of the green right here will likely be above average in precipitation, extending from the Great Lakes all the way down to southern Texas and into the Mexico area, New Mexico over here. And lucky for us, a lot of these areas are the ones that are under that moderate and severe drought, so we will likely see a lot of drought relief from all this rain. So if you look on the bright side, we could see that. Our 8 to 14 day, same kind of story. Above average in the east and near to below average out here in the west. And then almost the same story again. Areas in the Texas, New Mexico area extending all the way up to the Great Lakes could see above average precipitation, while areas up here in the way northern plains and west coast may see near normal or below normal precipitation, and this is for the November 5th through 11th time frame. So overall, the main story over the next couple days will be the possibility for severe weather, bringing tornadoes, wind, and hail to areas in the Oklahoma, Nebraska, and Texas region, extending all the way up to the Great Lakes. And another main story will be the possibility for drought relief in a lot of areas, extending from the Texas region all the way up to the Great Lakes. So I will continue to update you guys in future forecast videos. We will likely be going live on Wednesday for the possibility of severe weather. So stay tuned for that. Thank you everyone for watching my forecast video, and I hope to see you in the next.